Someone said it's been a busy day, has it? Hello, guys. It's been a busy day for me. I'm pretty tired. Still, actually. Yeah. Okay, so I was while we're waiting for people to come in, what did I just do with that stuff? Oh, here it is. I unpacked my arsenal of weapons. I have well, I typically I'll carry bear spray, I have a taser, and I have my Chinese ninja star. So this is actually pretty cool. If there's any females watching or anyone that wants to protect yourself, this is the taser that I carry. It's Viper Tech. Viper Tech, that's the kind of taser it is. High special K. And the cool thing about it is you can charge it once a month. And you just do that. So you just do that once a month. You plug it in to charge it for maybe like a few hours once a month. And that's what it does. So that's pretty serious. I carry that around. I have bear spray that I carry around. And that's how I protect myself sometimes. Don't tase me, girl. I'll try not to. Don't attack me and I won't tase you. But this is also a sort of a fun thing that I have. One of my really good friends, he's an older man. He always buys me he's in his 70s. He always buys me weapons. And he bought me that taser. He also bought me this. This is my Chinese ninja star. So that's pretty cool, right? You can kind of see how legit and sharp it is. Yeah, my nails look terrible. I need a manicure, so please don't judge based on my nails I've been moving this week. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right? So I can carry that too. And the cool thing is, howdy, Jonathan. The cool thing is, what I love about this arsenal of weapons is, like, you could totally put that on a belt or something. Check that out. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, hi, how are you guys doing? So, just straight up from California, so the Recall Gavin Newsom movement, there's a little bit of news with that too. Caitlyn Jenner, yeah, howdy yourself, Jonathan. I'm going to a horse show tomorrow. Someone said, damn, I just go with a 9mm and a pocket knife. Well, I like to be complicated because that's my nature. Although I try not to travel with too many weapons because I fear that if I travel with too many weapons, someone will use them against me. So there's a fine line there. But latest news in the Recall Gavin Newsom movement, I guess you will, is that Caitlyn Jenner announced that she's going to be running for governor. She put out an official statement, and I won't read it for you, but it was an official statement, and it was Caitlyn Jenner basically saying, hello, Victor, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. So Caitlyn Jenner put out this official statement about running for governor of California, and basically what Caitlyn Jenner said is, you know, I've been watching California decline for so-and-so years, and I really want to help out. I really want to be a part of change, blah, 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 blah. So that's what Caitlyn Jenner said. And I'm sure there's a certain number of people that are like, oh my God, she's so amazing and brave, and she is wanting to make change in California. And yes, I do agree. Whoever just made that comment, I couldn't see your name. I do agree that I do believe that even Caitlyn Jenner is a step up from Gavin Newsom. But we also have other people running that have been campaigning for over a year now that I think are just as, if not more, qualified than Caitlyn Jenner. And here's the thing about a celebrity all of a sudden wanting to get into politics and all of a sudden wanting to run. You go from not being in politics, period, to wanting to run for governor. Usually when you start to get into politics, you run for city council or mayor or something local, and then you kind of work your way up. To me, this is just another sort of clout thing. I will not be voting for Caitlyn Jenner. So if Caitlyn is running, then are you not running? I feel like I honestly feel like I could do a better job than Caitlyn Jenner. Not very many people, but I think I could do a better job than Caitlyn Jenner. And maybe she has a big fancy team around her and they're telling her what to do. But this is one more person that is running for clout. We have Major Williams, who I fully support. Major Williams, Joe Rogan has endorsed him on his show. Major Williams has also been campaigning for the past year and a half. He's been making his rounds on California. He's been talking to the people. He's been posting what he believes in. Did you like Arnold Schwarzenegger as governor? I did not live in California during Arnold Schwarzenegger as governor, but thank you for asking that question. Oh, you would vote for me. Thank you. I honestly feel like if I were to ever go into politics, which I've thought about before, I would start probably city council or maybe a Senate or Congress seat. That's what I would do. Yeah, I would start somewhere like that. I wouldn't just go straight to governor. And that's where a lot of people are really skeptical with Caitlyn Jenner. They're like, if you really cared, if you really wanted to give back, why don't you do something, go into something small first, like mayor, city council, something like that, and give back. We actually did have an individual, he's a famous wrestler. I can't remember his name, but if you Google this, you'll probably be able to find him. He's a wrestler, and he, I'll get back to this in a second, but this is the beauty of how radical our politics are getting, is you're getting just regular people that don't necessarily want power. They just want to do good, and they're just disgusted with the politicians that we have in office right now. So you have, yes, it is Jesse Ventura. Thank you, Jonathan. Jesse Ventura ran, I believe it was Huntington Beach, right? Ran for city council. Yeah, and he got the votes, and he's in city council. So that right there is a perfect example of someone who had a little bit of fame, but didn't try to use that to go too big or go home. He just ran for city council, and he's helping the place that he lives. Yeah, all of you are right. Jesse Ventura. That's exactly who it was. So that's how you kind of know it's more about maybe a little bit of clout or something like that. But going back to Major Williams is running for governor. He's been outspoken about running for governor for over a year and a half now. Hi, good evening, Sarah and chat. Hello, how are you? Yeah, but he's been campaigning for over a year. He's been on the floor. I told you guys, I set up a table and was signing people up to recall Gavin Newsom. Major Williams came out. He spent 4 hours with us. He was meeting people, talking to them, taking pictures. I also just love everything that he stands for. So I would much rather see someone like that become the governor of California. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I didn't live here when he was the governor, but the interesting thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I learned this recently as well with the whole recall Gavin Newsom movement, or whatever you want to call it, Arnold Schwarzenegger got into office from a recall movement. That was a whole other recall movement, and that's how he got into office, which is pretty interesting. But I believe that was the last time a Republican was in office in California. And that is one of the things that Caitlyn Jenner, Kane is doing a great job in Tennessee. Okay, but yeah, that's cool. I don't know who that is. I'll definitely look that up. Tennessee isn't something I've researched a lot recently. But so Caitlyn Jenner, she announced she's running in California, and she says, you know what, we've had a one-party state for a really long time, and we need change, which I totally agree with. The one-party thing, yes, we are a Democrat, we are a one-party state, and that has a lot to do with our demise. Are you going to stay in Virginia? I probably won't stay here, but I'm here for a little bit. You can see my boxes behind me. I am here for a little bit. I won't stay here indefinitely, for sure, but I'm kind of chilling for a while, and it does feel really good to kind of chill for a while. I still have a lot of things going on back in LA, so I'm sort of back and forth right now. Why is Kanye not running against Bruce? I don't know. Pardon me, I'm having coffee at 8 p.m. at night. That's my life right now. That's what my dad used to do every time he drank coffee. He was like, and give me my peace and quiet. Cheap gas and no homeless. Yeah, I will say gas is a lot cheaper. And it's really interesting, since being here, I have not seen one social justice sign. I have not seen one. Black Lives Matter sign. I have not seen anything political. Everyone here, we just kind of hang out and we all get along, and it's pretty awesome. I will say it's a breath of fresh air to be here. Hi Sarah, I missed why you said you were not in Los Angeles. Well, so my lease ran up in my apartment, and it was sort of the situation where like nothing was open in California, and everything I do from home now. So I just decided to come visit my family for a little bit, and I'm still back and forth. My residence is still in California, but I'm kind of just hanging out with family a little bit in the country right now. The hard part for Major Williams is that Cali has become a one-party state. Yeah, for sure. I didn't get to read the rest of your message, but totally, that is the hard part for Major Williams. And also that he doesn't have that kind of celebrity name. But yeah, it's a one-party state, and a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people still are not making that connection of, oh, my living conditions are this way, or oh, I don't have as much money in the bank, or oh, I'm paying astronomical prices in rent and taxes. Meanwhile, I'm seeing more and more and more homeless people right outside. They're just not making that connection with, this is the party that's running the state. This is who I keep voting for, and this is why my life is miserable. So, unfortunately, you have a population that is waking up to the fact, and a lot of Democrats, I do feel like, will be voting Republican, and a lot of Democrats. 50% of the people that signed the Recall Gavin Newsom petition in Los Angeles are Democrats. So the dislike or the disapproval of Gavin Newsom is completely nonpartisan. It is equal parts Democrat and Republican, no matter what they try to tell you on the media. The numbers do not add up. It is completely nonpartisan. Sorry, I didn't get to read that message. But yeah, the effort to recall Gavin Newsom is completely nonpartisan. It's equal parts Democrat and Republican. But if you watch Gavin Newsom talk on national television, he will tell you that it's right-wing extremists that are signing the recall petition. That is, in fact, not true. You can look at the numbers yourself. Just in Los Angeles itself, the numbers showed it was equal parts Democrat and Republican that are recalling Gavin Newsom. But yes, I do agree that a lot of people still are not making that connection. They're not making the connection, oh, these are Democratic policies that, or these are super progressive policies. I won't even say Democratic, I'll just say super progressive. But they're not making that connection. These are super progressive policies. This is why things are the way they are. I'll give you an example. For example, recently a story came out. They're building 200 little tiny home pods off the side of the highway, somewhere in Los Angeles. So they're building these little tiny home pods, 200 of them, and they're putting them off the side of the highway, and they're hoping to put homeless people in these little pods. And they're like, yay, we're so progressive. We have these sanitary, pods where these homeless individuals who are out of work, who are out of luck, can go and they can have their own space, and it's hygienic. And I agree, those are wonderful things, and I'm so glad we're building safe and hygienic spaces for these people to go, because I don't know if you heard, but they're going to start clearing out Skid Row a little bit, which they have to. I'll get back to that in a second. But what they're doing is they're just making these homes, and they're putting more and more money into making housing for these homeless individuals, but they are not going to the root of the problem as to why homeless people are flocking to Los Angeles, and they are flocking to California. For instance, Venice Beach, 75 to 80% of the people that are homeless in Venice Beach are not from Venice Beach. None of them are from there. They come there. Why do they come there? And the same for LA. If you look at the homeless population, I guarantee you, I don't have the exact numbers, so let me know if I'm wrong, but I guarantee you a large number, over 50% of the homeless population in Los Angeles is in fact not from Los Angeles. So what is this saying? I think it was Thomas Sowell. You can't have open borders in a welfare state. It's the same for California. You can't have all these super liberal policies where you don't prosecute people, where you don't patrol on certain crimes, which invites the homeless population into your community, and then just give them free housing. So you're basically rewarding people for coming to your state and being homeless. And again, I have the utmost compassion for all of these individuals, but how is this sustainable? How is this going to fix the root problem of homelessness? And if we're going to go by the logic of the Democratic Party, which the logic of the Democratic Party right now, according to border security, is we're not going to secure the border right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Guatemala, we're going to go to Southern America, and we're going to figure out the root cause of why people are immigrating to the United States. So if we're going to go with that logic, then wouldn't that same logic be applied to our homeless population? Okay, we're not just going to fix the surface problem right here and smack a band-aid on it and hope it goes bye-bye. We're going to go to the root problem. We're going to go, why are homeless individuals flocking to California, and how can we fix that? So until we get to the bottom of that problem, you can't just keep giving housing to people and putting them there and hope that it goes away. There's something bigger that is going on as to why people are flocking to this state in the first place. Why is Jenner running? Isn't this one? I don't know why Jenner is running. Honestly, to me, I know that Jenner has been an open Republican for a long time, which I actually appreciate. Anyone in Hollywood or anyone in Southern California that is willing to be open about their Republican beliefs, I automatically have a certain level of respect for you, which I do for Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner came out, said she was voting for Trump, that she was a Republican. She's not a one policy voter, which I have a lot of respect for just right off the bat. As far as Caitlyn Jenner running for governor, and I'm not even going to get into the character of Caitlyn Jenner. I'm just going to say this, and I'm biased. First and foremost, I am completely biased in my opinion on who's running. I can't even look at my nails. That is so disgusting right now. I'm getting them done tomorrow. I'm completely biased on people that are running because I've met Major Williams, and I'm going back to this, and I do not have a blind faith to him, but this is someone who really cares. This is someone who's been campaigning for the past year and a half, that not only campaigns, he will do it when there's no cameras around. He will talk to the residents of California. What do you need? What's up with you? What are your wants? What are your needs? What are your struggles? He actually goes and talks to people, and he cares. And every single thing that he stands for are things that you and I talk about all the time, that we all stand for. And he's done the work. He's done the work for the past year and a half. And I just think that if anyone deserves a shot, Major Williams deserves a shot. And I want to give him that shot. What about The Rock? Oh, heck no. Are you nuts? Heck no. I would never vote for The Rock. He's a sissy. No. No, no, no. No. No Rock. No Dwayne Johnson, or no. I would never vote for him. But how it's going to go, though, on the ticket, are you pro 2A, 2 Second Amendment? Absolutely. And a lot of the reasons why I'm pro 2A is because I'm a small female. I lived by myself on a first floor apartment in Los Angeles while crime was going up. So I want my right to be able to defend myself, to be able to own a firearm in my own home and protect myself. When you're, I don't care how tough or how big of a feminist you are. If you're a woman, you have a different muscle mass than men, and a lot of people that are committing these crimes are men. So yeah, absolutely. The reason I'm pro 2A is because I would describe myself not as a feminist in the sense that the liberal women claim to be, but I am a feminist in the sense that I believe women should have the right to protect themselves. And so for that reason, and for my view on women's empowerment, I'm very pro 2A. That's not the only reason I'm pro 2A, but that is one of my personal selfish reasons why I'm pro 2A. So yes, very pro 2A. Very much so. But yeah, Caitlyn Jenner, I feel like a lot of people are going to start jumping in the race for California governor now that they know that there's an actual chance. But where have they been this whole time? They haven't been campaigning. They haven't been doing anything. So I do think there's a level of people that are going to jump in right now because they know it's actually possible. Whereas Major Williams, he's been in it for a long time before we even knew that this recall effort was going to be successful. He was still campaigning. So I would like to give it to him. I would like to give my vote to him, and that's what I want to do. But how the recall is going to work, I'll tell you how the ballot is going to work. So March 17th was basically the cutoff date for the signatures. When will the recall election be? Okay, Glenn, I'll answer that for you. I don't know the exact date, Glenn, but it's going to be, I believe, in September or October or early November. I think early fall or early fall. So I believe it's going to be one of those months, and the way it's going to go is, so right now the last day to get signatures was like March 15th through 17th. It was one of those days. So once all those signatures were collected, it goes to the Secretary of State. They validate the signatures. So that's what they're doing right now. There's like a 30-day grace period where they validate all those signatures. And that's basically what's going on right now. So the last we checked, there was a total of 2.2 million signatures. You need 1.5 valid signatures to kick off a recall effort. Well, the law of averages basically says we have enough valid signatures to kick off a recall effort. Even if some of the signatures are rejected, there's still, according to the law of averages, enough to kick off a recall effort. So once the recall effort is kicked off, there will be essentially like a special election, and you will get a ballot, and the ballot will say, do you want to recall Gavin Newsom, yes or no? And if you say yes, you'll have another option, and it'll say, okay, who do you vote for? And you have to have at least one Democrat, and then you're probably going to have a bunch of Republicans that are running, because it's a lot of Republicans that want to recall Newsom. So you basically, at that point, after you say, I do want to recall Newsom, you will then vote on who you want to recall. The issue right now is with Republicans is you don't want too many Republicans running, because that is going to oversaturate the voting. Does that make sense? If you have too many Republicans voting, that's going to split up the vote a lot and might give more votes and an advantage to that Democrat that's running. So you want to make sure that you actually have a Republican ticket that can defeat a Democrat. And that's the issue that's happening right now. And this is actually something that Major Williams has brought up with him and all of the Republican nominees being in close communication with each other and not having too many people run, because you don't want to split up that vote too much. The more you split up the Republican vote, the more you have a chance of just reelecting a Democrat. And that is just not in the best interest of California, in my belief, to vote back in a Democrat. I think that California, even if you're a staunch Democrat, I think even some of my staunch Democrat friends will agree, we need a Republican in office. We need something to balance out this one-party state, because I don't know if you saw my Venice Beach video that I posted a few days ago, but that's basically the state of California right now, and it's a shame. I love California. California is my heart. I've always known I was going to live in California, and I finally moved there, and I was thriving. I was so happy. I'm in love with this state. I adore this state. It is arguably one of the most beautiful states in the whole US. It is just run by some terrible, corrupt officials, and they are ruining the state. It's getting basically impossible to be middle class and to live in California. It's becoming one of those. It's becoming like Brazil. It's like you're having the super rich and the super poor. Anyone in between, it's becoming harder and harder and harder to have a decent quality of life and live in California. And that's the reality of what's happening in California right now, which is why I think we need some fresh Republican blood. And that is what I would like to see in California. I just want to go back to Frankie and Annette Bonicello. Do you guys know who they are? I'm really young for this, I know, but I loved Frankie and Annette, and I just want California to go back to those days or something along those lines. But back in the 50s, 60s, maybe even the 70s, it was a time when the middle class was thriving. Yeah, I love those movies. I love those days. But that was when the middle class in California was just thriving, and it was a nice, decent place to live, and it's just becoming harder and harder and harder. I've spent my whole life in California. It's a paradise in terms of weather and sobriety. California, I grew up. Yeah, no, it totally is. It is a paragraph. California is a paragraph. It's a paradise. It for sure is. That's why it's an absolute shame. And I feel the same way about California that I do about Hollywood. I feel the same way about Hollywood. I love Hollywood. Wishful thinking, Gidget ways. That's okay. I'll wishful think. It's fine. I'm having more coffee. Oh, Reagan's amnesty destroyed the state in the mid-'80s, Arizona and Texas. Cali has a lot of... That's my cat. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Yes, hello. Yep, there's the kitty. But I'm not in California right now, but I'm super excited to see what happens with California and how everything goes. And I will be voting. Right now, my vote is for Major Williams, and that is who I'm completely endorsing. Yeah, the cat's doing sneak attacks. Hold on, where is she? Ah! Did you see that? Okay, maybe I torture her a little bit. She's actually a really good sport. She traveled across the country with me. I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. The deer woods in North Dakota is paradise for me. Nice cat. Thank you, Dean. So where I'm at in Virginia right now, I'm on basically a farm. There are some horses that I get to help take care of, and it's really fun. It's nice. I've told you guys before, where I lived in West Hollywood was basically in Protest Central. I lived in Protest Central. We had the National Guard there. We had buildings boarded up. I agree, Sarah. I've always wanted to live in CA, and now how much nicer it is. I have faith. I think it'll turn around, but I'm glad I'm not in a downtown area anymore. It's nice to be sort of out of that situation. What was I gonna say? Totally forgot. Unless Biden doesn't run for re-election. Yeah, and I'll tell you what's happening right now. So right now you still have the border crisis that's happening. Arizona declared a state of emergency, and Doug Ducey, how do you say his name? Ducey? Ducey? Douchey? I didn't mean to say douchey. Doug Ducey in Arizona has declared a state of emergency for the state of Arizona because of the border crisis. And he even said this is directly because of Biden's policies that they are declaring a state of emergency. And laugh at me, ha ha ha. So he is directly declaring a state of emergency because Biden. Kamala Harris is the head of the border crisis. Elk Grove is nice south. I've never actually been to any of the Dakotas, but I would like to go to one day. Oh gosh, I thought it was gonna freeze. Tito Ortiz, UFC on Huntington Beach, Councilman Jesse Ventura, government of Minnesota. Okay, or governor of Minnesota. Thank you for clearing that up. So it was Tito Ortiz, or you know what I'm saying? Tito Ortiz, that was Huntington Beach, California. So he's the one that ran for city council in Huntington Beach, California. A buddy of mine, too, which I'm really proud of him, is going to be running for, I believe, a Senate seat. And he's running for a district in Florida, which, the cool thing is about our politics getting so bad, you guys, I don't know if any of you watched, there was this on the History Channel, there was this show. I highly recommend, if you can find this online, The Men That Built America. It's a really good docu-series about the men that built America. There's a lot of information on like Rockefeller and JP Morgan and Carnegie and all those guys. So people buying presidencies and cheating on elections, this is nothing new. I think it was JP Morgan and Rockefeller, correct me if I'm wrong, but they basically bought McKinley, and they would approve his speeches. They manipulated the media. So this has been going on for a really long time. The difference is now we have social media, we have cameras everywhere, we have alternative news networks. We can sort of look behind the curtain, and that's the beauty of what's happening right now. So if you ever feel like, oh my God, this is so awful what's happening, this has never happened before, the reason we feel like this has never happened before is because we never had a view behind the curtain as well as we have it right now. And yes, those things have been happening forever, but now we can see it and now we can call it out. And the beauty of all this is now you have a lot of regular people that are so angry. You buy a politician, you get what you pay for. Yeah, for sure. You absolutely do, Dean. But what I was going to say is now you have so many regular people that are seeing what's happening and they're so angry that now you have regular people that are so impassioned and so angry that they're running for politics. Instead of running for politics for selfish, political, sort of special interest, money reasons, you have people that are running in politics now because they're just so angry and they're so impassioned and they love their country. For instance, a buddy of mine who just announced he's running today for a district in Florida. He's a great guy. He just loves this country and he's seen what's happened the past 4 years. He's seen the media lies. He's seen all of these things. He's seen the corrupt politicians. So now he's running for a district, just like the Huntington Beach City Council we were just talking about. Just like a lot of people we were talking about, just regular people are finally running for office. And I do think the pendulum is starting to swing. For instance, we were talking, I made a video earlier today about the young woman who, she was 15 or 16, the young woman who was attempting to stab another person, and the media framed this as another police officer who fatally shot a young Black woman, when in actuality this young woman was attempting to murder another young woman and the cop actually saved the other young woman's life. Well, the media tried to spin this narrative again, like the cops were in the wrong and these evil, racist cops, or however they spin it. You guys, you know how they do this. But what I've been noticing more and more and more, the comments on these stories, and all of these stories are starting to get ratioed, and all these stories, it went from 30% of the comments, 40% of the comments, 50% of the comments, 60, 70. Now it seems like it's 90% of the comments are like, whoa, you're wrong. The cop was justified. It's a tragedy what happened. Of course, no one wants to see anyone injured. No one wants to see anything escalate to this point. But it's not okay to demonize all police officers or even this one police officer for this situation. It's a tragic situation, but he did the best he could. So more and more and more, I'm starting to see people become braver and braver and braver and speak out. And that gives me a lot of hope. Dean says the propaganda is prevalent throughout MSN, lying hacks. Yeah, for sure. Total lying hacks. And that's what happened when it was 2016 when I sort of started walking away from the Democratic Party. And what I did is I just started doing a lot of research online. And what I would do is I would watch C-SPAN, or if there was a speech that President Trump did, I would go and pursue the entire speech instead of someone's coverage on the speech. And that's how I learned how dishonest the media was. I would go to the source and watch that. And then I would watch the media coverage on it. And sometimes like my jaw would just hit the floor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, how are they getting away with this? And that was 3.5 years ago. I was like, How is this even like legal? How are they getting away with this? And even this past summer, I took one little like silly online journalism class, and the first thing they taught us is what propaganda is and why that's bad. And that's everything you see in the mainstream news right now is propaganda. Not every channel, but most of the channels, most of the news outlets are propaganda. I actually listened to a podcast with a girl that quit a popular news site, and she went to school for journalism, right? And she finally got a job with a really popular online publication, and she was so pumped to work for this publication. And she got hired, and they started giving her assignments, and her assignments were basically like, okay, I need you to basically fill in the blank. So they would say, okay, you need to write a story on 10 ways white people suck, or those were basically her stories. 10 ways white people can do better at this, or 10 ways about social justice, blah, 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 blah. They were basically telling her exactly what to write, and she was filling in the blanks, and that was her journalism career. And that is a lot of journalism right now. But the beauty is, more and more people every day are starting to wake up and see the fakery that is the whole thing, which I think is pretty cool, if you ask me. There was something else I actually wanted to talk about. Let me see what it is. Oh, the Oscars. Something interesting. I'm going to talk about this real quick, and then I'll probably go early today, you guys. I'm sorry. Next week I'll be on way longer, I promise. This week for me. But there was something else I just read that I want to share with you all, and it was about the Oscars, which I would have been able to go to the Oscars this year. Not that I care, but you kind of just want to go once. You know what I'm saying? Just go and get it over with. You just want to go. You want to internalize. You want to observe. Take mental notes. Judge everyone. Go home. Make it a night. Talk about it later, right? Not gonna happen this year. But something really interesting came out about the Oscars. So a producer with the Oscars talked to a media outlet and basically said, so this Oscars that is it airing this weekend or the weekend next? They are expecting this to be one of the lowest rated Oscars of all time. And they basically said that they had gone back, reviewed the Oscars, did minute by minute, and they saw that the minute celebrities got on stage, you can look, Blaze TV had an article, so go search Blaze TV if you want to read the whole article about this and get the sources. That's where I'm getting this information from. But they basically said they went back, studied it minute by minute, and the minute that celebrities got on stage and started talking about politics is the minute people tuned off. So they're basically admitting that, yes, the viewership of award shows in general have been in a complete free-for-all. And one of the reasons, of course, it's not the only reason, they're still blaming the pandemic, and that I'm sure that has a little bit to do with it. But we also know that one of the major reasons that a lot of people are not tuning into award shows anymore is because of the politics. And they actually went back and viewed and looked at the ratings patterns and saw that literally to the minute that celebrities started getting on stage and talking about politics, people turned the channel. So now they are acknowledging it. So we will see what happens with this Oscars. I fully intend on making a video about this. The reason I'm so passionate, obviously, I lived in Hollywood. My residence is still there. I'm a very active auditioning actress, although I'm completely against a lot of the culture in Hollywood right now. So the movie Oscars was awesome. I nominate Sarah Sinsoni for an Oscar. Thank you. Thank you very much. I should just make a video where I accept my own Oscar that I give myself. I think I've auditioned enough. I'm like the cockroach of acting, basically. But no, I love Hollywood, and I love old Hollywood. I love performance, but I've seen what has become from award shows like the Oscars, and it makes me really sad. And the reason it makes me sad is because I love Hollywood. That's why it makes me sad, because I love Hollywood so much, and they're just eating themselves and making people not want to watch them, and I don't like that. Stop talking about politics. You know, if you want to do it on your, I'm all for it. If you're, I mean, I do acting. I talk about politics. I'm doing it right now, but I'm not doing it at the Oscars. You know, what if you want to do it on your own little platform, your social media thing, go do it. You have a right to have an opinion, but when people watch the Oscars, they want to escape from everyday problems in everyday life. They want to escape from politics. They want to look at the pretty sparkly dresses and tuxedos, and they want to watch celebrities get drunk and make fools out of themselves, but they don't want to watch celebrities make fools out of themselves, rather shaming other people. They just want to watch them make fools out of themselves. And they've taken that away from us, basically. And now we don't want to watch. It's not fun anymore. You can't just, there's this rule in comedy, you punch up, you don't punch down. And that's what I think of when I think of the Oscars. They get on TV and they make fun of people that vote Republican, or they make fun of people that voted for Trump. That's a huge part of middle America. That's a huge part of middle class, just hardworking America. And they don't want to watch a multi-million-dollar celebrity in a sparkly outfit making fun of them. I'll watch that and enjoy watching you grab your award and say, thank you, God, and yay, I love to act. And but I don't want to, why would I want to watch you insult me? No. That's obviously going to turn off a big part of your demographic. So we'll see how the Oscars is. I'm gonna watch it. I know, but I am, because I'm probably going to make a video about it. So I will be watching it. Now you just need to be on the Walk of Fame, have your own spot. I think I'm just gonna go to the walk. I feel like I've auditioned so much in Hollywood that I deserve something, even if I just give it to myself. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the Walk of Fame, maybe get maybe some kind of power tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my own name there and see how long it lasts. And maybe I'll take a picture of it. I'll just do it for myself. No one enjoys being lectured by midwits. Yeah, no one likes being lectured. It was like I made that video about 7th generation cleaning products because they came out and they were like, we are all for defunding the police. But I loved people commenting on their products, and they were like, why is my soap yelling at me? Like, stop. My soap shouldn't be yelling at me. I just want it to be soap. And it's like, when you want to watch your entertainment, you just want it to be entertainment. Oh, I don't know if you saw this story. Even the Olympics, correct me if I'm saying anything wrong. This is just a headline I sort of glanced at, but I did see something along the lines of where the Olympics in Tokyo, they were going to ban the kneeling. So they don't want politics injected into the Olympics, which I think is a very smart move. You know, especially at a time where we are all so divided and we're all fighting with each other and yelling at each other. Those things that bring us together, I think we need to hold those sacred. You know, I've told you before, my boyfriend is a Chicago Cubs fan. If we go anywhere and someone else has a Chicago Cubs t-shirt on or whatever, they're just instant friends, and they're chit-chatting and they're talking no matter what color, background, economic status. They're automatic friends if they both see that they're supporters of the Chicago Cubs. You don't want to get rid of that right now. Like, we need those things that bring us together more than ever. I have a screen of a lot of programs. I'm sorry I didn't get to see the rest of that. Whew. Sarah 2020, the Oscars all the time. 24 million viewers. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I'm interested. I think is it this weekend they're showing them? I think it might be this weekend. Anywho, you guys, I'm going to go a little bit early tonight. I'm still just a tad bit tired. Thank you so much for watching, for participating, for tuning in. This was really fun. I'll see you guys next week and all of that. But thank you again so much, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye. Grab your boyfriend's phone and change your name to Steve. Thanks, Sarah. Thank you, Dean. Okay, thank you. I'll see you guys later. Good night. Have a great night. Thank you, Chris. All right, I'll see you all later. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, I'm pushing the button if I can find it. This is gonna be awkward. Is that the button? Sure.